Hi Cancer, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth and I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader. This Cancer is your healing intuitive reading and distant Reiki session for the time between the 25th of July and the 8th of August. We'll draw some cards. This first row will relate to this last week in July. The second row will relate to the first week in August, and we'll look at some key energies and outcomes for this next 2 weeks. Your Reiki, if you want to, will be activated during this video, during this reading. If you want to understand a little bit more about Reiki, what it is, how you can get your free session, which has already been, I've already performed it. You can just watch a little video that I've included. I uploaded that on Tuesday, the 24th. So probably you've watched it already. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the healing that's about to come your way, my darling. I'll do a little bit more shuffling and then we'll get started. Okay, my darling. So I feel like applauding because that was very clear. So it's come through. Card at the base of your reading is the Three of Swords. Now this card is the overall perspective or the overall experience that you should see this next couple of weeks through. And this is the Three of Swords. So this is a revisit for you then, isn't it? Three of Swords. This is a revisit for you of something that you already have been carrying, and it's the final release of that potentially. We've got the Three of Swords here. Now the Three of Swords is sword energy, so it's about thoughts, our minds, our clarity, consciousness, and communication, what we say and think, and what we allow ourselves to say and think, and it really does form part of our identity. Now, with the Three of Swords, isn't it? There's a situation or a circumstance that has happened previously that's actually formed part of your identity, that's actually hindered you in some way, that's actually stopped you in some way from loving yourself or loving a part of yourself or an aspect of yourself, your upbringing, your life, etc. So we're hopeful, and it seems like if this is here, this means that this is something that's going to be in the front of your mind or in your consciousness over this time period. So whatever this event was may have happened many years ago. Whatever this event was that served as an impediment to your identity, to how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, that thing, that whatever that is for you as an individual, is going to be in the forefront of your mind. And potential experiences over this next couple of weeks. So let's have a look at the first key energy then. We'll look at this one first, we'll look at this one last as the outcome, okay? So we've got the Chariot. Excellent. So this is your card, isn't it, Cancer? We've just had Cancer season, we just had the Chariot season, and this is your energy, okay? So very interesting how we start with your card. Now, as you know, for those people that follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook, you'll have seen the post that I did about the Chariot. And it's really about our authentic selves, the Chariot. It's really about understanding, finding the balance between our authentic selves, the truth of what we feel on our internal, in our moon internally, and how we act externally, and those two things being in sync, those two things being in balance, those two things being in balance is what propels us forward. So for you guys, it's as if there's a sense of looking at this wounding, looking at trying to understand how an event that's already happened, whether it's as I said, in the recent past or the distant past, an event that's already happened that actually affects you and your behavior in relationships, in love, your ability to form relationships, your ability to trust, etc. For you now, Cancer, it's about understanding how this event affects your actions currently and getting those two things in balance. So it's very interesting. I talked a lot to Pisces about balance in their reading, which I've just done before yours. So this is what you're achieving. You're looking, that's what your experience is. So let's have a look then, more in depth than at this week at July. So it looks like, as I said, an experience that forms part of your identity, that's made you feel that disempowers you, or that makes you feel a certain way about yourself. That is going to be at the forefront of your mind, and it's something that you're hopefully going to be releasing. You're going to be moving on from. You're going to be recognizing and becoming aware of how that event has affected your actions up to now. Excellent. Look at this. So we're getting, this is what I'm saying to you guys, so don't be worrying. But you know, these people, they see this God, think, oh my God, I'm scared. Don't be scared. These are just archetypes of experiences. That's all they are. And actually, this tells us that there is going to be some success and victory with the Six of Wands there. We've got the Eight. Excellent. One of my favourite cards now in the deck. I love it. Eight of Pentacles, the King of Cups. Oh my gosh, Cancer. Oh my gosh, Cancer. Oh my gosh, Cancer. I'm so happy for you. So, oh my God. Okay, so basically what I said to you is happening. So that, trying to understand, and this can be for anyone. This can be, you know, your first boyfriend dumped you, and so or your first boyfriend cheated on you, or your first girlfriend cheated on you, and you've never been able to trust anyone ever since. You didn't realise that that's why you only date casually now. And this time, now in July, or the 2019, you're starting to realise that the reason you dated casually is because you held on to the hurt and pain that caused by your previous partner. It affected your self-esteem. It affected what you thought you were able to have and achieve. And now you know that changes how you act from now on. That's these first three cards here. And that's an example. It doesn't have to be that specific example. It could be anything. And it looks like you're overcoming that. You're transforming from long-held beliefs about yourself. And actually, for those people that have read the description box below, I talked about at the beginning the new moon and the full moon, and the effects of those things. You can read that below, or on my Instagram or Facebook, Keybism Tarot. And I say down there that that's what this month is about. It's about removing or changing long-held beliefs that we have about ourselves. You guys are like bang on track, aren't you? You're well in with the astrology, or the people that resonate with me and that resonate with this video. You're well in line with the astrology, the universal astrology, the universal energy that's occurring currently, because you're actually going through that change. You've actually gone through that transformation where you've understood, or you're understanding. Going through that time now where you're understanding, yeah man, that's how it affected me. You know, that's why I only do that's why I don't go for the promotions, because I was burnt so badly by that employer, my friend who was actually an enemy, who told me that I'd never amount to anything, who told me that I should limit myself. Like, now you realize that, oh my God, like I need to. Now you know that that's where that came from, those actions came from. You can behave differently. This is the awareness of that, the joy of that, the excitement of that. This is the kind of victory with the Six of Wands. So we've got movement, we've got victory, we've got being able to overcome. We've got people being able to see externally. You being able to see externally in what you now do in the world, the change that's come about, the healing that's come about. And I really just want to give you another round of applause, because it's brilliant and beautiful to see. Okay, so whatever this impediment was, this thing that you carried around with you was potentially linked to institutions, just because that's there. You're definitely moving on from it. You're definitely moving on from that type of energy. Look, it wants to turn itself upside down. I don't read reversals, do I? But it just wants to turn itself upside down. But, you know, because that energy it should probably be like that, to be fair. That energy is you're realising that you've overcome that now. That's what it is. Over this next couple of weeks, you're realising that you've overcome that. We have this next energy of the Eight of Pentacles here. Now, the Eight of Pentacles, as I said, fast becoming one of my favourite cards in the deck, because, like it says in the description box, the eclipses, what they're meant to do, just like karmic cycles are meant to do. They have the same function. Karmic cycles and lunar eclipses and solar eclipses, they have the same effect on us personally. What they help us to do is come into realizations and transform from long-standing and long-held beliefs. With this energy here, we become a more refined version of ourselves, and because we put energy and effort, Pentacles energy, we put energy and effort into understanding, refining, uncovering the truth of who we are. That's what you're doing here. You're putting in it with the Eight of Pentacles. It's where we put our energy and effort into toward manifesting security. And it's karmic cycles or situations or cycles or attitudes and energy that helps us to further understand, that helps us to gain more clarity, to gain more wisdom. You're actually doing that. You're actually putting in energy and effort into understanding who you are, understanding what the truth is for you. And you're becoming, as it says in the description box below, you're becoming a cleaner, a more refined version of yourself. And we see that further supported by these energies here with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is masculine energy. Now, all the masculine energies are about the actions that we take. So that's same for this and same for this, the actions that we take. The King of Cups is about your emotions, okay? So it's about, one, we understand our emotions. We have emotional maturity, we understand them. But two, we act, the actions that we take into account our feelings as well. And that's basically what I was saying here at the beginning. It's as if there was a this can be hidden from us. This can be hidden from us for years. We can live for a long, long time not knowing that we have an impediment, not realizing how the breakdown of the mum and dad's marriage or the bullying event or whatever, not realizing how those things actually still affect your behavior now as an adult, because they're insidious. They seep into your psyche, your consciousness. It's like if someone has PTSD. It's like if someone has anxiety. It doesn't just affect, oh, I'm anxious when I go outside and I'm in a room full of people who are strangers. Anxiety affects the fact that affects your ability to want to apply for jobs or for the type of jobs that you'll apply for. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be drawing attention to yourself, for example. So it actually infects and affects all different areas of your life, and we don't see it. And this year has been about us doing that excavation, like I've said, unpicking those things. And now you're finally starting to see the ways in which this thing, whatever this event was for you many years ago or very recently or more recently, whatever it was for you, about realizing how it's affected your behavior. This is what the Chariot does. The Chariot, this stuff can be hidden. This is the moon, this is the sun, the yin, the yang, or the yin, the yang. And in order to move, to propel that chariot forward, we have to have those two things in balance. We have to understand that the behavior, the feelings within affect the behaviors on the outside. The moon affects the sun, and you're realizing that now. And that's like with this dude here. He is acting on his emotions. He's making sure that he's taking into account his emotions before he acts. And that's you. That's what you're going to be doing. You recognize and you recognize that now, that it's important, that what's within is important, that the feelings that you've been feeling and experiencing, or this impediment, how it's held you back. You realize now, and you realize the change that's necessary, or how that's going to affect your actions going forward. And we know this has been a process, a long process, a slow process. I said to Pisces probably since about October, since we had the judgment energy, the month of judgment. You know, that was quite a revealing month from October 2018. So we've been going through a process. For you guys, it could have been October, could have been November, could have been just since this year, could have been this last month, but this is a long process. And this Knight of Pentacles talks of the process of healing that you go through, the excavation, the digging in, the finding out, the working on, the trying to understand, the putting in energy and effort, remember, to trying to manifest our security. With Pentacles, well, we can't have security. This is why he moves so slowly. We can't have security if we ignore what's under this stone or what's under that stone. So it's like the Princess and the Pea, that famous, that old, story. And I love that story because I understood it when I was a little girl, actually, even when I was in primary school, that, the little pea, no matter how many mattresses she slept on, 100 mattresses of beautiful, soft mattresses, just one pea, one thing that you're not looking at, and it just disturbs your sleep, it disturbs your peace, it disturbs your calm. And that's what he's really good at the Knight of Pentacles. He's really good at finding those P's. He's really good at going and excavating. And that's what you've been doing. You've been in that energy of, it's been slow and steady, but slow and steady wins the race. You've been going through that energy of trying to understand and unpick, uncover why, where did it come from, how, in what other ways has it manifested itself, in what other events in my life has it manifested itself, in what other relationships have I seen this impediment. And you've done that. You've been on that journey. You've been already on that journey. So it's a case of now, as I said, it might come to a point this month where there might be conversations, I don't know, but you feel different, you feel victorious, you feel like you're you've got 6, 7, 8 here. So, you feel like you understand now. And you feel, and that in itself helps you feel stronger, helps you feel more confident. Whether or not you act on that, we've got 2 masculine cards, whether you have a conversation about that, whether it means you've got to go talk to somebody, whatever. Well, let's have a look. So we're going to go now into August time. So we've got the Hanged Man. So probably not. We've got the Hanged Man. Oh, there he is. There he is. So yes, you are. Okay, so we've got the Hanged Man. I think that's a hangover from there, actually. The Knight of Swords. Yes, the Wheel of Fortune. And then that excellent, beautiful cards. Okay, so like poetry again. So the Knight of Pentacles, as I said, that's a slow moving energy, the slow process, but it's so slow because it's what gives us the proper security. The inner confidence, as well as the inner confidence in order to affect our external environment, with this energy. And there may be some form of consolidation, some self-reflection at the beginning of August. So you're going to spend some time, or this is the energy, what it represents anyway. This energy represents that time of consolidation. I know. Let me just look at this now. Let me just look back at this time. Let me look back at since October, man. What I've been through, man. Like, wow, man, that was a big lesson. That was hard, man. That was painful. That's what you're doing at the start of. That's this energy. I'm personifying him. I'm giving him a voice. I don't think he sounds like he's from Manchester. Sounds like he's from that neck of woods. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But you get my drift, darlings, don't you? What I'm trying to say is that that's the type of energy of this card. You know that you want to go do something. Now you've got the learning. That's what I mean about him. Or you, when you move at this pace. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's taken October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It's taken nearly a long time, isn't it? So you just need to get to this is you sort of just, wow, man, this has been a long time, man. 9 months in the making, but I'm really there now. I really do understand how it affected me. I really do understand how that anxiety seeped into my life. I really do understand how that anxiety stopped me from pursuing the things that I wanted. I really do understand how that relationship got into my head, or whatever it is for you as an individual. So you're spending some time potentially at the beginning of the month thinking that, as I said, it looks like a hangover. It might even be of that. Yeah, it might just be. I've not done the astrology for August yet, because it's obviously not August yet, but I'll do it and I'll put it beneath your next readings, which will be your August love readings. But obviously, followers of Key Wisdom on Instagram and on Facebook, you'll get this on or around the 1st. You'll get a breakdown. And I reckon if I looked at the astrology, it would be we'd see this corresponding with the astrology of the beginning of August, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Okay, so yeah, you've thought about it. God, it affected me like this, it affected me like that. And then what happens is this. Now, this dude, he takes no prisoners, this dude. This is you acting, this is you moving, this is you, you don't know what you need to say or what's going to happen, but you're clear now. You understand now. You understand the conversations that are necessary, that you need to have. Right, well, let me tell me, Dad, that because he did that bloody messed me up for ages, or because my friend has been saying that to me for so long, it's done me head in, and I finally bloody realised it, and let me bloody tell her that's him. And it's like, this is this energy, because remember, it's masculine, so we're acting on sword energy, thoughts, mind, clarity, consciousness, communication. wanting to speak, wanting to think, what we know, what we say, and it's acting on it. Remember the Knights, they don't shy away from things. They're pushing through established boundaries, learning new things, broadening our experiences and our horizons. This new energy must come through. And this is what this Knight represents, this Knight of Swords represents. And it's that energy for you guys of limits. You've reached your limits and now you're reaching new. You want to expand, you want to grow. And that might mean conversations. It might mean speaking to her or speaking to him or telling them the truth. It doesn't have to be an argument, but this energy is based on this. Because you've been going through this process of trying to understand and have got to a point now where you do understand, you want to act on, you have that impetus. It's natural to have that impetus to act on our new understanding. And that's what he does. It's new understanding though. We're not the king yet, but we are maturing. And we're maturing because we are acknowledging the truth of what we think and the truth of what we feel. So this is maturity. So even if it turns out to, oh, bloody hell, because of you, you know how much you've hurt me, whatever, it don't matter. That's what has to happen. That's what's meant to happen. Don't question it. Don't judge that. Don't judge yourself for being honest. Don't judge yourself for truthfully expressing, which is what he always does. Don't judge yourself for truthfully expressing what you now understand because of the work and the effort and the energy that you've been putting in over the last 8 months. Yeah? Because look, that change, that conversation, that shift is supported by the universe. We've got the Wheel of Fortune here. So when we see the Wheel of Fortune, we know, don't we, that this is. Do you know who moves this wheel? He does. He moves that wheel, the strain. You've got to think of it as potential energy. You remember the basics of physics, yeah? Potential energy. You know, every tiny little step that this dude takes, that you take, every tiny little step that you take is creating, is storing, is building this energy that finally erupts, that finally turns that wheel, that finally shifts your fortunes. And your fortunes are shifted because of your awareness. Because of your awareness of, this is how it affected me. This is what it felt like. This is what it made me do. This is what it made me think. It's the awareness that brings about the change. So we can talk about that as alchemy. We can talk about that as law of attraction. Talk about it as karmic cycles. Talk about it as whatever you want. But it's always, always, always awareness. That's it. That's awareness that brings about healing. That's it. It's your awareness that brings about your healing. It's your acknowledgement of, I'm going to swear, shit that hurt me. It's your acknowledgement of shit that bothered me that brings about the healing. Because if you don't know that you feel like that, then you'll just carry on your merry little way. But you do know, you are realising, you do see, yeah? So this is what's bringing the moving that wheel for you, shifting that wheel for you and bringing in some change for you, potentially, in how you express, definitely in your heart chakra, in your heart space, in how you express yourself, in how you show love, but it's also giving you that inner strength, that inner confidence. We have Pentacles here, look. Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. I mean, I'm a Capricorn, so this is my energy. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo's energy. And as I said, Pentacles energy and your earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, are all about manifesting sustained security. And the way that we manifest sustained security is by no stone left unturned. I don't just accept that that's what I do in life. I'm number 7 as well. That's my master number. I've got to understand the why. Why do people go to school? Why do people think that school is good for you? I mean, literally, I'm at that's how I've been in my life, you know. I did communication studies and law at university before I did my PGCE, before I became an English teacher. And I remember the reason why I did that is because I was like, I want to understand why how meaning is created. Like, how do we create meaning? That was the thing for me. How do we create meaning with language, with images, with words, with pictures, with sound? How is meaning created? And so that's why I did communication studies and law, and that's why it takes so long. However, security with the Pentacles energy is assured, because we have done the excavation. You have done the excavation. You have understood. And therefore, you can feel confident because it comes from within. You stand on this. Remember, number 9s are all related to the Hermit energy, which is also Virgo's card, actually. And it's about that active engagement with your awareness is the Hermit. It's about trying to understand. It's about actively seeking to understand is the Hermit, or is number 9. And this is you feeling confident because you do understand, because you've gone on that process of actively seeking to understand. So Cancer, this is a beautiful reading. So let's have a look at outcomes. I've not looked at this one yet. So we started with your card. We started with the Chariot, your energy. How are we going to end this reading? Your outcome for this month. So we know that change is necessary. Now, I'll tell you, I just saw the reflection of that and I could guess what card it was. But we know that the change is necessary, and this is exactly what is happening. This card represents what happens. It's the literal. Now, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it actually, or the Great Liberation, the Liberations by Hearing in the Intermediate States, which is the Tibetan title, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it describes basically the dismantling of the 7 veils of illusion, okay? And it describes the energy that takes to come into that, to come into the awareness, and then the awareness that you come into, how that in turn leads or moves to actual changes in your external world. It does not, can I just say, it does not explain it like I'm explaining it right now, okay? But it doesn't. So you won't be able to find this in it, but if you understand your mindfulness, your meditation, your Reiki, your tarot like I do, then you'll obviously be able to find it. And if you understand how meaning is created by the use of metaphor but anyway, so one of the things what it talks about is it calls it wrathful. The energy, it's called, there's peaceful deities, which is the awareness, and then there's the wrathful, which is the energy it takes to transform as a result of that awareness, if that makes sense. That's number 5s. So in a nutshell, that's number 5. So what number 5 is it's this, something's not right here, something's not being right. The number 5 is not only the waking up to the fact that something's not been right, it's the recognition and the acceptance and the understanding that something has to now change. And the energy of that. That's what I try to sum these things up in a nutshell for you, but believe me, the amount of hours and hours of my life that it takes for me to reduce that down to that, the amount of reading and work that I do so I can reduce these things to these nice little aphorisms that you can take away. It's a good work, but as I said, that's my life's work and my life's mission. So, what does this tell you for your experience? It tells you that energetically, for you guys, in all this next time period, that is the energy that you're going to be facing and that you're going to be feeling. Whether it feels intense or not, it's meant to. But the energy, that if it feels intense, it's actually change. What it means is, as I said, this awareness that you're coming into is going to start to turn that wheel and to affect your actions and your life in a very real way. What you do, how you interact, what you say in a very real way. So this is that energy. This is that energy of interacting with the changes that are necessary, with the changes that are going to come through for you, that you're bringing through, that you're healing and that your efforts are bringing through. So you can be confident and should be confident, and you will feel confident. Because finally, something that you've held on to for such a long time, whether it's an abusive relationship, whether it's the breakdown of your mum and dad's marriage, whether it was bullying, whatever it is for you as an individual, and there's going to be as many people that watch this video, so thousands of you watch this video, as many reasons, you know, whatever it's going to be, you're finally seeing that you can change from it. You're finally understanding its impact on your life, and you're finally starting to see that you can heal from it and that you can change the narrative that you've held for so long, for so many years. Okay, my Cancers, I hope you liked that reading. I did. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share this video with your friends and your family if you think it will be helpful to them, on your Instagram, your WhatsApp, your Facebook. And your Reiki. So your Reiki has been has it been activated during this reading? Do you know what? Did I tell you that it hasn't? Well, it will be activated, but it hasn't actually been strictly activated. So I better refer to it on this card here, which is the Three of Hearts. Now, your heart chakra is your fourth chakra, and yeah, your heart chakra is your fourth chakra, okay? And this is a space that's going to be healing and opening up. And for you guys, I really feel like your Reiki session is going to help to pinpoint that area for you. But it's also going to you're going to receive the Reiki anyway. So if you're not sure how to receive it, you can just ask, but you can watch the video, and I give you a breakdown of that video, a good in-depth stuff actually about Reiki, what it is, where it comes from, how it works, how I understand it, blah blah blah. So watch that video as well. Leave me your comments as well and let me know how you get on with the Reiki and with this video. I will be doing it, as I said, a love reading for the month of August, so you can check that out too. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Follow us on Instagram, Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook very, very soon. Don't forget to check out your pick a card readings and the Key Wisdom playlist for your conscious meditations and a whole range of other little snippets for you guys. Okay, my darling Cancers, have a wonderful couple of weeks, because it looks like that type of experience for you, a really good experience, a really healing and uplifting experience for you guys over the next couple of weeks. Take care, my fabulous Cancers. Bye.